What's good, y'all? It's your boy Epiphany the Beast, and welcome to ETB Hoops. So today I'm going to be explaining why the Boston Celtics will be 2019-2020 NBA champions next year. I got a couple facts written down right here, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to explain why. So I know a lot of people are, a lot of hype is going on with the West. People are thinking, oh, the Clippers are going to win the chip next year, or the Lakers are going to win the chip next year, or the Warriors are going to come back. Surprise a lot of people. Maybe Kyrie might be able to take Brooklyn by his hands, and KD can come back in the playoffs and they'll be able to win. No, the Boston Celtics will be champions next year, and I'm going to explain why. First reason is Kyrie is gone. In about the playoffs last year, they lost in 5 or 6 games to the Milwaukee Bucks. In game 4, you could tell the team chemistry wasn't there. Kyrie wasn't performing his best. And you can see he didn't want to be there. He did say he wanted to retire number 11 for Boston and win a championship there. And he's, home is where his heart is. That's what he says. So he's in Brooklyn right now. Much respect to him, but he's gone. A free agent signing that went kind of under the radar is Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker, a player who was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, is now playing for Boston. He's a multiple-time All-Star, All-NBA player, one of the prolific scorers in the league, and now he's a Boston Celtics, so we didn't really miss a beat right there missing Kyrie because we got Kemba Walker right after that. Another thing is Gordon Hayward is returned. I think the Boston Celtics are going to get a stronger Gordon Hayward, someone who can really come in the game and make an impact. He's not really going to be nursing that leg that he injured. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring next season. I know Boston is as well. So my third thing is more touches for Jason and Jalen. Obviously, Kemba's going to come in, and a lot of people are saying, okay, Kemba had a high usage rate for most of all his career. He always has to have the ball in his hands. But Kemba can obviously see what was going on in Boston now that he's here, and, Brad Stevens is probably running him tape and saying that, hey, we want to do a system where players are going to have to sit back and accept their role in saying that, hey, you can't take, 40 shots a game this game. We might need you in the fourth quarter to make big shots and show up and have the ball in your hands a lot, but we don't need you to be Mr. Do it all for us, like you were doing in Charlotte. We have a lot of good players here in Jason and Jalen who can hit tough shots, who can score on almost anyone in the league, and we need you to take that step back, maybe up your assist and be more of a team player. So I'm pretty sure Kemba understands that, and Jason's obviously going to get better. This is only his third, fourth season in the league. And Jalen, obviously, he's going to get better. A lot of people had him in trade talks. They have him in trade talks almost every year. I guess they don't really believe in him, but I believe in Jalen. I know the city of Boston believes in Jalen, so I know he's going to have a pretty big season this year as well. He's going to have a lot more touches. I heard he didn't have the best relationship with Kyrie, so I know he's going to probably, rekindle that with Kemba. Another point is the great rookie class that the Boston Celtics drafted. They drafted about 4 players, and then they scooped up Taco Fall. We have Romeo Langford, who's an absolute beast of a swing man. He can score on all 3 levels. Once he gets his hand right, he's going to be a great player off the bench. Can definitely see him filling in that 6-man role and just filling it up. We haven't even seen him play yet. Grant Williams, great leader. I love Grant Williams' game. I know Boston really loves him. He really fits the Boston system. Tremont Waters, like I said in my Summer League standout video, another great player as well. Great defender. Sort of a younger Avery Bradley in my opinion. That's who I compare his game to. He can hit 3 balls, he can facilitate, and he can play really well in defense, so don't sleep on that. And then Carson Edwards, I skipped out on him. He's an absolute sleeper. He's tearing it up in Summer League this year. Can shoot anywhere, can score anywhere, and he hasn't missed a beat from his March Madness performance. As to Taco Fall, the 7'7" project of a big man system. They have another roster spot to sign for a 2-way player. I heard they're gonna do 16 spots, so Taco might get that spot. I hope they don't pass up on him. He's a great project player to have. Maybe stash him in the G League, let him get better with the right clause, and then bring him back up, and that's gonna be a pretty monster lineup with Taco in there. And let's not forget about our second-year players. Time Lord, my man's Robert Williams. Robert Williams is he's a great big man. Finishes strong at the rim, great athleticism. He definitely needs more minutes in Boston's system, and I think he can play a great role in their championship run. And I just expect him to see a lot of good minutes next year. So the Boston Celtics have a lot of depth. I don't think depth is their problem with such as teams like the Lakers and the Clippers, where people are looking at their lineup and saying, well, and the Rockets as well. Where's the depth in your roster? The Celtics don't lack that at all, in my opinion. Let's also not forget about my man Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is always going to be in the runner-up for Coach of the Year. He's a terrific coach. A lot of high praise from all around the league. He worries about the little things that a lot of players don't see within their games, but he can definitely bring it out. He didn't have the best relationship with Kyrie. We're just not figuring that out. Oh, Kemba is more coachable, and he will win Coach of the Year this year. I have that in my NBA Awards video. Make sure y'all check that out. Brad Stevens for Coach of the Year this year. And lastly, trust in Ainge. You always have to trust in Danny Ainge. I know a lot of Boston Celtics fans can thank Danny Ainge for creating the team that they have today. Always stocking up draft picks. Always doing well in the draft. I'm going to use this quote right here. Forfeiting your future for short-term success. So while a lot of teams are out here shipping off, 10 draft picks for a certain player who's, a year almost out of their prime, in my opinion, or in their prime, you know what I'm saying? You're shipping off your absolute future for short-term success, to win a championship in the next couple of years, If you look at the Lakers, LeBron James is 34 years old, will be 35 in November of this year. So was that, and Anthony Davis, who's 26, LeBron James is going to play 5 more years, in my opinion. He's going to retire in the next 2 to 3 more years. And even in those next couple of years, he's going to have limited minutes. So is he really going to bring out the best in Anthony Davis, or can Anthony Davis really bring out the best in him? If you look at the Houston Rockets, do they really have depth on their roster now? They shipped out a bunch of draft picks. They just signed Tyson Chandler, who's super old and didn't really perform well when the Lakers picked him up a couple years ago. So is that really going to make their roster that much better? If you look at the Clippers, the same thing with them. Do they have depth in their roster? Their starting lineup looks pretty good defensively, but what about when you rotate these players out? That's the same problem Oklahoma City had. As soon as they took out Russell Westbrook and PG, you couldn't fill those in with any other good scorers. They only had maybe 1 or 2 shooters on the team, which isn't going to get it done against teams like Golden State. If you look at Golden State now, they lost Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson is still nursing his ACL. It's going to be the Steph Curry show, and we saw how that showed up against the Raptors, who only had 1 All-Star, but plenty of depth on their team. If you look at what's another team people have been talking about? The Brooklyn Nets. I don't think they're going to can compete with the Raptors anymore. I don't think they can compete with the Celtics with only 1 superstar and a bunch of role players. They basically just traded D'Lo for Kyrie Irving. And any of the other teams in the league, I feel like this is the most complete roster. They're not getting a lot of publicity as they deserve, which is fine. Let's keep them low key and let them surprise a lot of teams next year. That's why I have the Boston Celtics winning next year. That's why I have the Boston Celtics winning next season. If you have any other debates below, leave them in the comment section. If you feel like, there's still going to be locker room issues, this team is going to sign this player, leave in the comments below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for post notifications. Peace.